Okay.
Okay. Call to order the Local Emergency Planning Committee meeting for January 27th, 2022 at the Town Hall Auditorium. This meeting is both in person and on Zoom. Take a quick roll call of who's here, please.
Russ Anderson,
Here.
Brett Banish,
Here.
Randall Brown,
Here.
John Kane, absent. Charles Dunlap,
Here.
Doug Moglen,
Here.
Rich Stefanowitz,
Here.
Carl Steinhardt,
Here.
Cindy Sullivan here, Karen Zorik. Where's Karen? Can you unmute yourself, Karen?
Here.
Thank you. And Josh Taus.
Here.
Yep, we have a quorum.
Is that 10?
It's 10 with Rich, but Rich is an alternate, so it's 9.
That's fine.
Yep.
Cindy, can you just announce who's here remotely?
Who is here remotely?
Meeting law class yesterday, and that's supposed to be announced.
Okay, so remotely is Chief Russell Anderson, Mr. Doug Moglen, Deputy Chief Richard Stefanowitz, who is an alternate, Karen Zorik, and Joshua Taus.
Karen represents school transportation category,
Yep.
and Josh represents the hospital. No,
Yep.
Cindy, I'm being told the owl was not on currently.
That's a shame.
why is that what they're saying? The hour's not on?
Doug's saying it's not on.
Really, Doug?
How the heck do you turn it on from in the center of the table?
Switch camera to owl setup
What's on your computer?
on your computer.
Well, Doug just spoke, so.
Well, because it's on Zoom, but it's not on Owl. What am I supposed to do?
Is it plugged into your computer there, Cindy? The
Yeah,
owl?
I think so.
And then
Everything
just
was-
click. So down where it says stop video by your thing, there's a little up arrow. If you just click on that little up arrow, it should show the owl.
Other side of that icon.
Where?
Other side of the icon.
This?
Nope, down, bottom left. And then stop video, right? Show video.
One to the right.
No, other side.
On the right.
Click that up arrow right there where you're at.
This?
No,
The arrow.
right there, the arrow.
The arrow right there, yeah.
This arrow?
I think that's talking about.
Now you stop. Yeah.
Choose virtual, choose video, choose settings. Video settings?
I'm not sure which one.
Should say select camera.
Integrated webcam. Did it come on? No.
You don't have an option for owl?
Nope.
It's plugged into your USB, right?
Yep.
Is this, Doug, is this supposed to be lighting up?
Yeah, I would think if it's plugged in.
We just go back to the days of meeting in person.
We're never going back to that, Cindy. This is going to be the way of it's going to be.
Oh, red.
Okay, now try the same button. Okay.
There's supposed to be a green light, Doug, or a red light?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's blue now. That's blue.
So hopefully, try that.
You'll hear it, and then you can click on it.
That's right. I didn't hear a hoo-hoo. I don't know if it's on.
Well, no, it's showing blue.
Yeah, that's that. Ooh.
It's supposed to who? It's plugged in.
Okay, so try it now. Is there a little thing when you click on the stop video arrow thing there?
I just turned up the volume.
No. I don't have a owl setting.
Carry on. We just can't, the remote folks can't see what's going on in the room.
Oh, you can't see, Doug, what's going on?
Well, we have the pleasure of seeing
They
Cindy.
can see me. Well, I can certainly change it.
Oh, okay, you can only.
Oh, no, it's-
I see what you mean.
Switch it back. That was better that way.
It's not funny, Doug.
Do you want me to go get? Well, you can carry on, and
No,
I'll ask
carry
Robin.
on.
I'll ask Robin to grab Jim.
Sure.
Can you hear the rest of us okay, Doug?
Oh, yeah.
His vote of approval.
So the sound is recording, but not the video. That's what you're saying.
You just record the video of Cindy's empty chair. There you are, Mr. Chairman.
He's there.
There's the old trick of unplug it and replug it.
Did it come on? He's Robin's calling him.
What was this owl now be used? That's how the owl will now be used. Okay.
But it's not showing the. Where did you find that?
There, is that it?
There it is.
There, that wasn't
There
there
you go.
before.
Excellent job, Lieutenant.
He's a pay raise or promotion out
We're
of
gonna
that.
end up having to turn that volume. It's really loud.
That was not.
Okay. Doug, do a sound check. Can you hear us?
No.
You can't hear us?
Yes, I can.
And can you see us?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so that aside, I guess we'll start the meeting here.
Sorry.
First item on the agenda is going to be the acceptance of the Thursday, October 28, 2022 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to
I
accept them.
got a question. There were two guests that were eliminated, not on the list. That was Ian White and Pauline Dunlap, which were emergency management members and representing CERT.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the minutes to include those names under the guests category.
Your second?
I'll second.
All right, and Tommy, you would just abstain on this side.
Everything.
Right.
I believe you have to do a roll call now because of the Zoom.
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to actually do the roll call or have people do the roll call?
Yeah, it'd be the easiest.
Russ Anderson,
Here?
it's a yes or
No, it's not a here, it's a yes or a no.
Yes.
Rhett Banish.
Yes.
Randy Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dunlap,
Yes,
Doug Moglen,
Abstain.
Rich Stefanowitz is not voting because Russ is here, right? Carl Steinhardt,
Yes.
Cindy Sullivan, yes. Karen Zorek,
Yes.
where's Josh? You're on mute, Josh.
Josh, you're on mute. You were here, so you'd be saying yes.
Still on mute.
You unmute, there you go.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to new business. Report from tabletop exercise held on 10/28/2021. You provided that, correct, Charlie?
yes, I did. And yes, how in-depth would you like me to go? Just the responses from the exercise, or do you want me to continue with the outline of the exercise? And
Well, what are you prepared to do, I guess?
I'm prepared to do anything. I can read the exercise. I'll read it real quickly because there are a couple of people that were not here. Tom, I believe, was one. Okay, Southwick LEPC tabletop exercise on October 28th, 2021. Description. General description. Southwick has a population of 9,750 and is located 7 miles south of Westfield, Massachusetts, and 90 miles west of Boston. To the east is Agawam, Suffield, Connecticut, and Granby, Connecticut. To the south, Granville, Massachusetts borders to the west. Southwick is on the northern border. Westfield is on the northern border. The major highways serving Southwick are Mass Route 168, Route 57, Route 10, and US 202 with many secondary roads. Government emergency operations. Southwick has a select board form of government with a chief administrative officer in charge of day-to-day operations. The select board have appointed an emergency management director, EMD, who is responsible for developing integrated emergency and disaster plans and procedures to guide response to all potential hazards, natural or man-made, negotiate interjurisdictional mutual aid agreements, and to coordinate emergency response and recovery efforts. There's a full-time chief of police with full-time and reserve police officers. Also, there's a full-time fire chief with full-time and volunteer fire and EMS staffing. The DPW has full-time employees. The health agent is part-time. The EOC staff positions are assigned as additional duties for department heads. Staffing may be filled by trained EMA and CERT volunteers. Additional administrative and emergency response support is negotiated by the EMD and the other department heads. A state liaison from MEMA, Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, would normally be dispatched to the town, EOC if it were activated. Noble Bay State Hospital and the American Red Cross would augment the town EOC as approved by the EMD, based on the emergency at hand. The town of Southwick Emergency Operations Center is located in the town offices building at College Highway, near the geographical center of the town, with an alternate EOC at the DPW facilities. There is one police station and one fire station centrally located. A regional school government agreement with Granville, Tolland, and Southwick provide the education. Student transportation needs for grades kindergarten through 12th grade, along with special needs students, are provided by the Pioneer Valley Educational Collaborative. Industry. Southwick is mainly a recreational and bedroom community with light industry and small retail stores. Employment. The largest employers are the regional school district, and with 3 schools on a common campus and a national computer hardware software training facility. Exercise purpose and scope. To test emergency response on hazmat designated routes and hazardous material emergency response. To test Southwick Integrated Emergency Hazardous Material Emergency Response Plan. To involve the regional school system in a hazardous material incident. Factual information. Southwick has 3 designated Massachusetts state highways, Route 168, Route 10, and Route 57, with another US 202 being a federal designated highway. These highways carry a large volume of mixed traffic for local and through destinations and are part of the hazardous materials and evacuation emergency route planning. Under the exercise time and weather conditions, on Friday, October 29th, 2021 at 14:07 hours local time, that's 2:07 p.m., the weather conditions are wind variable, less than 5 miles per hour, with daytime temperatures in the mid-60s, overcast with a light rain mist falling. Scenario. Regional school students are waiting to be taken home after a routine school day. Highway traffic is normal for a Friday mid-afternoon. Reported to the 911 dispatch PSAP of an oil sheen on Feeding Hills Road from Feeding Hills Road in the lane from North Long Yard Road and Foster Road intersection, causing a slippery road condition. Public safety dispatch is receiving numerous calls of vehicles sliding off the road. Police, EMS, and fire DPW are being dispatched. Another call to dispatch of an 18-wheel trailer truck's side fuel tank is spilling diesel oil, which is heading westbound on Route 57 from Agawam. First message, multiple calls are being received by Southwick Dispatch of a multiple vehicle accident involving a home delivery propane truck and a school bus at the intersection of Powder Mill Road and Feeding Hills Road, Route 57 intersection. Message 2, a 911 cell phone call reports a smell of gas and slight hissing sound at the accident scene. Message 3, east and west traffic is now backed up. Message 4, there are many people gathered at the accident scene observing the large school bus intermingled with the rear single axle propane home delivery truck. Message 5, witnesses report to responding police and fire responders of a hissing noise and gas type smell coming from the truck. Message 6, police response. Message 7, fire response. Message 8, EMS response. Message 9, regional school response. Message 10, TV crews and media reporters are concerned, and concerned parents are calling dispatch. So now I will into the question period and incident response. The exercise response after action report and question. How will public safety dispatch shift commanders prioritize multiple E911 calls for simultaneous accidents? The police shift commander, Lieutenant Banish, says, send cruisers, secure the scene, road closure, turn people away, notify Agawam of the situation, initiate a code red call, obtain fire response status, and update dispatch on situation status. Fire Department Deputy Stefanowitz says, size up the scene, evacuate the immediate incident scene, assume home propane LP gas with concern of life safety, check the wind direction, evacuate Powder Mill School and nearby residents. 3 to 4 fire responders are for initial response. Request response from Agawam and Westfield. EMS responds and stages. Next question. How will the town of Southwick Integrated Hazardous Material Response Plan be implemented? The Integrated Hazardous Material Response Plan is available at PSAP Dispatch and the EOC for consultation and reference guide for emergency responders. Question C, where would a command post and staging be located if required? Explain how Incident Command System, ICS, and or Unified Command would be used. The high school would be designated as an Incident Command Center, Unified Command Post. Question D, what outside agencies, resources, and mutual aid would be needed, and if responding, with what and from where? Regional Hazmat, Agawam, and Westfield Police and Fire would be responding along with the state police. The propane distributor would be notified and responding. Local conservation and DPW would be notified and responding. Towing company would be responding to the leaking diesel fuel truck and staging for the propane truck accident. Question E. Would there be a joint public information officer's information release coordinated between the town and schools? A joint public information officer would coordinate with the school and town media news release through incident command system. Question F. Would the EOC be activated? The EOC would be opened for command post coordination for needed resources and communication with MEMA, State Emergency Management, Region 3, and notification through Web EOC. Question G. Would a limited declaration of emergency be considered? The impact of a major state highway evacuations and school interruptions would justify addressing a request to the chief elected official for consideration of a limited state declaration of emergency. How would the regional schools be affected? That was question H. Student classes would be interrupted along with school transportation, parking, vehicle access, and egress to and from the schools and facilities. Question I. Would Connect City and Code Red notification be implemented by the town and the regional school district? Notification by Connect City and Code Red would be implemented by the regional school district and the town. Comments. The exercise was one representative for the regional school district to make decisions outside of normal expectations. The one representative was Karen Zorick, and I think she did a good job, considering she's head of school transportation. An emergency incident such as this would immediately overwhelm public safety personnel and resources. Additional personnel would be acquired from the DPW and availability of workers. The initial vehicle diesel fuel leak was not really addressed along with the numerous vehicle accidents on Feeding Hills Road, Highway Route 57. There was a positive discussion of needing a reunification center that would aid in the pre-planning for any major event. I'd like to give recognition to Scott Clevot, who is not here, representing MEMA Region 3, who helped with the exercise as coordinator and evaluator, and for the scribes that were part of Southwick Emergency Management, Ian White and Pauline Dunlap, Southwick Emergency Management, and CERT members. That is what I have, and addressing any or ideas regarding the exercise for pre-planning for the next one. And I do want to make one comment that shortly after the exercise, when winter began, we had a snowstorm, very slippery, icy conditions, with many vehicles off the road at Feeding Hills. We had 8 police officers on duty and an extra dispatcher. And then we had a vibrating gas feed line pipe for Powder Mill School, which caused an evacuation of Powder Mill School. So it was 2 separate incidents, but it kind of goes along with this exercise with dealing with multiple accidents and evacuation and a no gas leak, but it was a hazardous situation at Powder Mill School. Thank you.
Question, Charlie. I think I recall you saying that there was a health agent with part-time in that scenario.
Yes.
Read that?
Yes.
Okay. It's the correct position name is health director, and it's full-time position.
At that time, I don't know, were you?
It was in 2009, 2020, beginning of 2020. That meeting was before that. They were part-time. But
Okay.
2020, they were full-time, and it was the health director.
Okay, I think the exercise should be corrected to verify the. Okay.
You can just send that to Cindy and she'll she'll replace that, that wording in the document of the
Yeah.
official record of the minutes.
Okay, that was my misunderstanding. Thank you, Tom.
We make a motion to accept this into the minutes anyway, this
As,
document,
as corrected.
as corrected, or no?
No, because it's really just his report, it's not the minutes. It's being submitted for this set of minutes.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? Anybody on Zoom? Seeing none. I believe Mr. Moglen has to move along to another meeting at 10 o'clock. Is that correct? Doug?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Is there any other new business anyone has? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to old business, a COVID-19 update.
I do have one item for new business. I received a Tier 2 report from the LC Industries on Sam West Road, which was also forwarded to the fire chief.
I did see that, and I believe they're out of business, aren't they?
They got it in email.
As far as I know, I think that property was sold to another business owner on that street. This is LKQ we were talking about,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, they were bought by the other junkyard up the street.
Junkyard.
So the location is still going to be an ongoing location in business.
Yeah, the one you submitted came from Gant, something like that.
That's fine. So what we'll do is, Charlie, you can follow up on that and just make sure that the company that took over that facility will also be filing a 2022 annual Tier 2 report. Thank you.
Okay, so moving back to old business, the COVID-19 update from the health director.
No, the last time I was here, it was pre-COVID, so why don't you ask me what you would like to know as far as COVID?
I mean, previously, we had just gotten updates as far as the total number of cases in town, the trends, stuff of that nature.
For the month of January, 440 total positive confirmed cases. Of those, 194 vaccinated, 377 over age 18. Sequencing was done only in some cases. Delta and Omicron are present in Southwick. Out of those sequence cases, most are Omicron, which is highly contagious and infectious. The daily numbers are dropping, averaging over 16, and today we had 11 positive. Caveat with that statement is the private antigen tests, they're not going into Macon where this data is collected from. So we have no idea at this juncture how many cases the private sector, private testing are positive or negative. So the numbers you see in the state are not accurate. And the more private testing we have, the less accurate they become.
Right, because that home information doesn't get reported to somebody who then puts it in the Maven.
Absolutely. So the more private tests go out,
Excuse the
the
number.
less we know.
Right.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but in terms of Maven and the numbers going out there. But what we can say is even in talking, when being on the DPH call, every Tuesday we have a DPH call. Data indicates that even with those private testing, which is not in Maven, it appears that the case load positives are going down. So even with that factor, DESI, the Department of elementary and secondary education. It's going to be moving to home tests for staff and students throughout the Commonwealth. I think Cindy probably knows a lot about this as well. She's not a school committee member. Southwick has not decided, to my knowledge, if they're going to participate in this. And that would be giving students or sent home to the parents or giving the parents directly tests every week so they can self-monitor what's positive or negative. Those positives are supposed to be reported to DESE. As far as I know, they're not reported to Maven. They will not be reported to Maven. So eventually, we're going to get some more testing done at the home level. And the reason they're doing that is because they're finding that the schools are definitely a safer environment. The tests have come back, 99% of it have been negative. So I sent communication out to the superintendent and waiting their direction of whether they're going to participate in this program or not. And part of the $26 million that was spent by the government of Massachusetts to purchase tests. So at this juncture, I don't know when that's going to happen. If the superintendent of schools and or the school board is going to go on with that program, which a lot of our surrounding towns are doing. I don't let everybody know.
Thanks, Tom. Tom, I noticed the MWRA in Boston was also showing the things we're dropping off.
Yeah, no.
So do local wastewater treatment plants in our region, Springfield, Westfield, any of them, do that same level of testing for the Delta, or excuse me, for the COVID types of variants?
I think so, Randy.
I asked Westfield that question probably a year ago. They said at that point they did not.
I can check.
So it's only the large systems. Yeah, I mean, I know it's just another way of trending it, and then again, we have so many people that live on septic systems, that's not gonna be reflected in it either.
Exactly. I can look into that.
So,
Can I ask a question? Do you know the age range of the people that are being infected?
177 over 18, 63 under age 18, 7 under 18 are vaccinated, 22 under age 5 are positive.
So you only know over 18, you don't know over 60? Or...
No, that is, no.
Any questions? Charlie?
Our report, Randy Brown and I were asked to put in a grant application to the state for hazardous material planning. And I received a call from Jeff Zukowski stating that Southwick is already fully accepted or accredited for LEPC with a hazmat plan. So it did not address us in our situation. It was for communities that do not have a LEPC or are in part-time or startup.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that looks like pretty much the end of the meeting here. Next meeting is March 24th, 2022, 9:30. We'll take a motion to end the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Oh, I'm coming. Just writing it. Russ Anderson,
You already left.
He
did he
disappeared.
leave? Rhett Banish,
Yes.
Randy Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dunlap,
Yes.
Doug Mogul left at 10:03. Carl Steinhardt.
Yes.
Cindy Sullivan, yes. Karen Zurek,
Yes.
Joshua Taus.
Yes.
Thank you.